We've been doing this for 4 years now, and it's been a lot of study. Data is complicated. That's why Google is worth what it is, because when you need to find something you're looking for, they do a great job of pulling it up and providing it to you. The next iteration version dashboard is this feature where you can search and it will find you the right database. From there, if you're doing the white label, it would be a much easier pathway for the end user to purchase. Anything data that can be provided, the end user is actually paying you for. Different naming efforts, we're going to be putting together a system and method where anyone who's uploading data will have about 10 different ways to describe the data. That feature tied in with how we name databases and the different combinations of how we describe what's in that database is going to create a seamless system to allow the most non-affluent technology and database systems. They will be able to just type in what it is that they need, and depending on how this has been put together, it will pull out the product that they best can use. And from there, it can be purchased. And on the backside, it will be stuck onto the marketplace to be fulfilled. So big change. In short, people can type in what they want. It creates the product for them. They can purchase it. And then after they purchase it, it will go up to the marketplace to be fulfilled by one of our data providers. Much more fit together in a box where you can sell a product and all at the same time. It'll end up pushing that product to one of the database providers to end up loading for you. So you can give it to the user and you just sold it to them, and now you're being paid for that data.
Is there some sort of, I see right now what I'm looking at on the screen, I see 0.1, 0.01, 0.04, that's price? Did I miss the header?
Right now it's just a filler. There's about 2 layers to this. So we're Avocadata, and Avocadata is selling the software to the white labelers. We're just the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And because we're the infrastructure, we're able to platform actual data distributors and data buyers. So the data to leads and Avocadata are 2 separate things. Avocadata is the platform I spent all the money I made on data to leads over 3 or 4 years to build Avocadata. So this data to leads store is really the same as a white label. Our packages are $500 and $800 that we sell to every white label. The $500 is a database that you can create with multiple keywords. Someone can pay you in advance $600 or $800, and they will buy from you the ability to build that database that they put their keywords in here for. It's happening all in one, where they put in what they want, it creates the product, and they purchase the same product that is created instantly. And then the fulfillment of that database gets stuck to the fulfillment marketplace. We only have a few companies that do fulfillment right now that we're closely partnered with. They would be able to then provide you the data to then push to your white label. As an example, this is a white label data provider that provides all of the data to our sub-white labels that do their own agency for data as a service. This user right here ends up selling a database for whether it's $2.99 or $9.99. This database is the same database that she's chopped up in many different ways. So for $500 a month, she gets one unique database that she gets the ability to download 5,000 records per minute from. And she has decided with her white label to build her business around a $199 plan for 2,500 leads a month. So the only time she would get an increased charge is if someone wants to buy a new database from her. She may sell a new database for $9.99. And if that's the case, she brought in $1,000, then purchase the database from one of the providers, and then she would be able to turn on the options for her users to either pay for different packages or subscribe for, different limits that they can download from those specific databases. Any database that user ends up purchasing, they can resell within this white label ecosystem that we provide at no additional cost. We limit you based on download speed. We're basically creating 2 currencies, the download speed and the credit limit. So we give you 5,000 credits a minute. Every minute it goes to 5,000, it goes to 0, back to 5,000. And from that limit, you can build a business around the credits per day, per hour, per month. That's how you can create this entire data as a service business. And it doesn't cost anything to start building. It only starts to cost money once you want to fill your database with different data. So this white label in particular, Real Estate Surge, they only work with real estate agents who are looking to buy a home or that look for people to buy a home or sell a home. She added the licensed attorney journey database that I gave her in nursing. She likes the nursing database because she's targeting nurses to buy a home, probably better income, stable jobs. She put together the buyer intent database, and she also put together the sell my home database, and you'll see it updates monthly. So every month they are getting updates that they're reselling to their users, and their users are getting live intent leads, which are people who are actually Googling keywords around sell my home, buy my home, sell a home and buy a new one. And it's a lot of intuitiveness to figure out, okay, what is it that they're searching for, what keyword, like keyword engineering, audience engineering. So there is a bit to that, but every month she gets to change these databases if she chooses to. And if not, we just update the same keywords and it just goes over to the next month.
When you say update in a month, does that mean the first of every month or 30 days from when the database was created?
It's basically around your renewal date, right? Your billing date. So it's every 30 days. However, you require literally like weekly updates. I mean, there's literally a couple $100 extra and we'll get you weekly updates. So let us know, if you require the data to be updated weekly or every 2 weeks, or if that's something you're interested in, just reach out to one of us and talk to us about it. And we're happy to put that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I know that I saw on here, you mentioned you had some fulfillment partners, but let's say I had my own scraper that I was going after like certain businesses, let's say, and then I gathered that data in some sort of a CSV, and then I have the ability to upload that into my white label and be able to use the platform to bill and send and manage.
Yeah, yes, and you can also sell that data if you have benefit from it.
Yeah, so you could be a fulfillment provider, right? So this person purchased residential cleaning, and I'm the one who fulfilled it and just uploaded 100,000 people that were Googling residential home cleaning in the last 7 to 10 days. And he paid $4.99 for this. And he has the ability to download it himself or put it into his white label version to resell. We fit in one shoebox. We sell you a $499 virtual box where you can either upload data, download data, move data. It's the system at its core is like a Snowflake application or Databricks. And we just happen to make a lead generation marketplace as our first play because Data to Leads was the first company we set up, which was just focused on providing go high level for $4.99 a month and filling it up with 5,000 records. And we did that the first 2 or 3 years, and we brought in $500,000 in sales with spending $500 a month on go high level, and that was it. So that's how the whole thing got built. But you can add any data you want. You have the ability to clone different parts of your own databases, so you can save some time, make some templates, so you don't have to keep doing it every time. We can name it real-time geolocation in Nebraska. And this is what I'm saying is a placeholder. We'll just put 0.01. If you were scraping that info, you would just have to structure it the same way that the spreadsheet you're uploading is. That the system's designed where you can build anything in a database very easily without having to have the expertise of data architecture or infrastructure. And then when you upload it, everyone can see it and they can purchase it.
And everyone is multiple users throughout the ecosystem, or just the people that I bring into my white label?
Everyone in the ecosystem. What we're figuring out now is that payment distribution. So we have a lot of users. We have 4,000 users that are active monthly, and about 200 of them are white labels that have set up their own beginning to end ecosystem, buy, resell, license, white label, whatever term you want to use, different data. Now, what we are thinking, someone goes out and gets a sale through the dashboard here that I was showing, right? Let's say someone searches auto part manifest. If that was the case, it would get created and then someone could take payment. And then it would create on the fulfillment marketplace an opportunity for someone to fulfill it.
I think the question is, does Todd have the ability to create and upload his database and make it so it's not visible to everyone, but only to the people that he brings into his white label?
Yeah, so it's two-sided. You can share it with the marketplace, or you can just bring them into your own system and not have them access to Advocate Data. Just you can onboard them through whatever white label you set up.
Right. I mean, in the instance where I have a buyer that says he wants something very specific, then I could go and, if I can't find it easily in the fulfillment center, then I could possibly go out and scrape it myself, upload it in the system, then he can just access it. Off he goes. Or I could take a stab in the dark and go after, some other vertical and drop it into here as a database for sale that one of the 4,000 free users might see and pick up on and look like.
Exactly. And being they're all logged in, we can see who's going where. You know what I mean? We're getting a lot of information. So we're not setting it up where we're a lead generation system for data providers yet. More so, we're partnering with you to distribute it because it's just easier to make sure, in terms of money-wise, paying each other, it's a lot easier doing it more on a partnership level. But if any of those people were to license the database, this is how they resell it. So they can make a plan and select databases they want in the plan. So maybe this is a roofing person, and maybe the roofing person also happens to want home remodel. So you can put together this package, name it unlimited roofing leads if you want, or say 100,000 roofing leads. Price it at maybe $2,000. So these are intent leads. So these are people looking for services relating to roofing. And you can make this plan. Maybe you charge them $2,000 and you can put in the amount of credits, so 100,000, and then you can decide, do you want those credits to be monthly or daily? So we'll just say monthly for now. So they'll get 100,000 leads for $2,000 every month. And then you can also control, is it an annual subscription or a monthly subscription? And there's two sets of data, right? There's right here and above. So we're looking at enable solar, leads insurance, B2B, B2C, homeowners. These were the original databases that I built myself over 4 or 5 years, update, and I keep track of. This is business owners who took an SBA loan that we skip trace to their personal contact. All the homeowners here are tax assessment record, and these are our databases we provided. These databases here are all part of the marketplace, where obviously we provide data to the marketplace too, but this is the big new feature that we have deployed since December 1st. Now, does that answer your question in terms of the scraping data and providing it?
Yeah, that does. One more question. If I wanted to pass data into a database that I've created, is there some sort of webhook or API that I could tap into to update a database like on the fly, or is it all manual?
Yes, but we would have to work with you strategically to figure out the ingestion rate and basically figure out what is the best solution, because there's you can get real time and pay more money, right? Just because, let's say there's traffic congestion and you don't really get an added value maybe. So okay, is it worth pushing in 6 hours later at 2 a.m. when it's cheaper? You know what I mean? So I mean there's those things we'll talk about, but yeah, it's all doable. I mean we just had a meeting with Go High Level for this. So I mean with very soon, probably in the next 7 days, you'll be able to push the list you saved to Go High Level, but we can only move 3 records a second. So that's 90 records a minute. So if you need to move 1,000 records, it's going to take about 12 minutes. And I do know Go High Level is going to be charging for faster ingestion rates. And we're working with them right now to figure out the right billing model.
Good. That was my next question.
Yeah. I mean, one thing that I've been trying to educate a lot of people on, I mean, a lot of you have used Make and you use Zapier. So they did a good job of getting you guys to understand every time you move something between systems, it's a credit. And now with the ability for apps to be created so frequently, if you need data to go between 10 different apps, that's 10 different API calls. And theoretically, in Go High Level, that would cost a penny. But now if you're doing it thousands of times a day, I mean, like our system does about 7 million API calls a day just with everything that we've built, not to Go High Level, just everything together. So, I mean, there is a scalability factor that we're really trying to make people aware of, because that's where we get the 5,000 per minute that we let you resell, because we understand if we charge you $500 and you have 5,000 a minute, we're going to make a profit and not take down the system and risk ourselves. So
and generally, I'll add at this point in this conversation, we all would love to have that problem because it means you have a lot of customers and you're making a lot of money. And we're here to help create a bespoke solution or enterprise solution that solves for the scalability that you need. Not a problem. We've already worked out scenarios where we have a partner that's basically going to be deploying their own environment, which kind of resets their entire sort of customer base threshold. It doesn't cost them that much more than where they already are, because once you figure out 1 or 2 intent databases, then it makes more sense to just do 10 at 2,500 and cut the cost of all of them in half, right? Then you're completely cracked open your business opportunities. You have the process down about how you communicate intent data and how you're selling it and how you're helping your clients leverage it and maximize it. It makes more sense to just have more products to be able to sell across more industries. That brings your overhead down. And once you get there, then you've cracked open
your potential addressable market, and you can start onboarding like crazy. And there's not a big leap from that plan to running your own environment. The client we're talking about, it literally was 15 customers because they have high demand and they're paying a high ticket price, so he can afford it. It's no big deal.
Anyone that gets their white label set up to the point where you can take payments, we're making it apps and go high level for you for a period of time. It's not going to be forever. I mean, I'm not charging anyone to do this. So we're trying to get everyone to take care of an industry that they're an expert in, like lead surge we were just talking about. Hers is on par, working great. So I have to redo the picture. Obviously, I messed up with the logo, but really that's what we're doing for everyone we can. I have Tim in here. He's getting his Stripe approved right now for gutterleads.com because he was a beast in gutters. He understands the market. He understands what people are looking for, and he understands how to sell to people who are actually installing the gutters, but also know how to do the sales themselves. They're a one-man shop, two-man shop, but they're able to do the full thing. So he's able to work with them, and it's very interesting. I would never sell leads at this price, right? 10 cents each is a lot, but obviously I sell more to wholesalers. So I'm not used to talking with people willing to pay 10 cents. And that's why this works. He's paying $500 a month for gutters and gutters. So he broke it into two different things. It's basically the same thing. People are going to ask what's the difference between gutter data and gutter filter leads. And, he has an easier way to sell it in the words and the way that he chooses to. Now that $500 he spends, he's able to sell over and over and over again. As long as no one in his ecosystem downloads more than 5,000 records a minute, he has no problem. In the nerdiness of sense, it's like a quantum wave. Like you can't let the two waves get over 5,000 records a minute. If you do that, then your system's going to shut down, give you a blue screen of death, and tell you literally you're going to break your system. Like it's set up with no restrictions when we do it for the purpose of you're going to run a better business if you understand. And like that's just the basis of it. If you don't understand why things happen, it's like not being able to calculate your cost of flying a plane. If you don't know what the fuel costs, how do you make money? It's the same type of thing. You have to understand that because the data speed is the fuel. The data is not the fuel. It's the speed of the data transfer. That's where all the costs are incurred.
If you're starting to put so much pressure on the system that you're having these problems, you're going to know, and we're going to let you know, and we're all going to have a conversation and figure out a solution. But also, this is the mad genius and the elegance of what Brian has built and solved here, is that there is this sort of balance and application now of just how do we now help as many people as we can leverage this system and maximize this opportunity. We work together with list limits and things like that, basic communication. And my hope is that every white label gets so many clients that they just want to stand in their own hosted environment, and then they can play around with their own plans and different things for their clients and kind of reset the clock and take what they've built, bring that cost down and scale it even bigger. That's the perfect world. For now, I think it's pretty clear, it's pretty simple, and it's literally just about managing how many people you have logging on at one time, downloading data from the system.
Yeah, and I'll jump into this, where any of the white labels have the ability to actually subdivide the list that's created. So that's where you'll see this find your audience section. This is going to be pre-built sections created, so then your user doesn't have to keep filtering the same thing over and over and over again. So first common use case, zip codes. A lot of people have different ways they want to look up a city, but I know if I looked up West Palm Beach, Florida, I'd leave out Haverhill, Florida, which is West Palm Beach. It's just a little subdivision town. So what I preferably do is do it by postal code. If you have a little area, cities or states or postal codes you want to be in, you can pre-filter it for your user. So we'll pre-filter Florida. So now we're in the gutter database. We'll call it Florida. Gutter installation interest. And again, I'm trying to name it a bit more detailed because of that whole new dashboard 3. You are able to pre-build the data section for a user in your white label. So let's say Tim has someone that comes in. They don't want to have to search Florida every time, and they don't want to have to search homeowner. They don't want to put all these filters and income range. Let's just say that's the case. You could come in advance and actually pre-save it. So if your guy does a lot of emailing, you can make sure everything has an email by flipping that switch. And if you want to make sure everything has a skip trace wireless, and I've gone over that a lot, and if there's any questions, just ask. But the skip trace wireless performs the best. So we can flip this, and now every record will have a skip trace wireless. And when we pre-save it, when we create the list, the user now that you just really easily help them out. It would pre-build this list that was already there. But now the users won't have to actually go filter Florida and all those things. They have it pre-built here. I'm going to buy, save list, test, type in 100, buy, save, and it will now email out to the email that you have on file.
Yes, I came in a little late. I wanted to know how to get a targeted audience. Like I do ACA insurance. I wanted to find out how can I get that particularly.
You would go to the pricing page, and if you only wanted one specific intent, you would just pick this one and check out for the $4.99. And after you check out, you're going to get a pop-up that will take you to the support tickets. And in here, you can just type in the type of leads you want. So what is it that you do specifically? ACA?
Correct, yes.
So then after you do this, it submits to us, and then it creates that fulfillment request. So it takes about 24 hours after you submit that message for you to be able to download it.
Did we filter it by the states that we want, or just you'll just send us a list of all the states and we filtered ourselves?
We can pre-filter it for you, but I recommend not pre-filtering it because you can, might as well get access to everything being it's included. But you can filter the state down within this section here. I use Control F a lot, just as a little trick because it's easier to bounce around the database. You can filter by state, but like I said, I would filter by state within here and not before we build the list, because then you're going to limit yourself from different data. Unless that's what you want, then you have that ability as well.
In life, you have people where you have these conversations and then nothing ever comes of it. And Brian's one of those people that literally in like 2 days, we're going to be playing around with some iteration of this that's live and being tested. And it's awesome.
Now that the Go High Level is fully going to be integrated to push all that stuff in. And then any of the white labels, like Tim's is about to get approved, the gutter one. So we're about to put that in the App Store for Go High Level. Because really our goal is to get, an expert in every single field.
Yeah, and we're working pretty closely with those guys now. So I think it's a brilliant opportunity for anyone to take advantage of. Brian's a pro at these things, man. Getting those apps live in there is highly effective. So
like a lot of people try to come up with their magic formulas for email. Just what I found works best. I've never did a course for this. I've never had anyone teach me. What I found that works best is news. You have an intent database. You know what they're interested in. So if they're looking for real estate as a buyer, maybe you can find some news articles about how interest rates are going up and how it affects the price of homes. Something educational that goes out at 6 a.m, 3 p.m. I get nearly 100% deliverability, not because I do any type of wild formula. It's just because I put together emails that people open and open and open. And the 7% small, but I'm doing a new thing to get a new amount of people into the group that opens at 30%. Because now I'm going to dump everybody who hasn't opened and just keep the people who open. Because when you have one person open an email for 2 years, looks like spam to Google, but people keep opening it, and similar people to what those people do open it, they let you deliver all these emails. I sent 55,000 emails in 2 days with not a single issue, and I have barely any bounces, and most of these are not meant to be a sale. It's just meant to be informative. People do like to read, so the more you can give them that's interesting to read, the longer you can hold their attention. Think of yourself like a news site. Like if you're able to provide news, you can plug your advertisement of what you do into the email. And when you plug it into the email, you look more professional. You're not reaching out for a sale. You're giving professional information to someone in the topic. So bottom line, there's no magic formula for email other than just send emails to people who are interested in what you're sending, and don't make it a sale or an offer. Use your footer as a resource directory. So it's just info center, info. You can start for free here. What does this mean? You might put your credit card in, but that's the only link. And put your social media, the communities. And the YouTube is huge. As soon as I cut this video up and post it and people see 30 people in here, it adds a level of legitimacy to the company. So, whatever you do, every conversation you have, it's very easy. You just divide the video, upload it to YouTube, and YouTube does this amazing, crazy thing where they transcribe it. And then I just plug in my transcription into ChatGPT and ask it to name the video for me and ask it to describe it for me. As a result, I now have a pipeline of
I love how you talk about this now. I remember literally like 2 months ago, before we implemented this whole strategy, this is the thing that kills a lot of people, is like, damn, how do I come up with enough content that everything isn't a sale, but everything kind of leads to the same result? Having an organic content strategy super serves your customers or super serves your potential customers is priceless, because again, every one of you who asked a question today or put something in the chat or whatever, get hit with the clip of Brian answering that question or showing the answer to that question. All of a sudden, we start to see people feel more confident. This is all this beautiful mind, elegant solution to this really, really complex problem of data and how you manage it and aggregate it and package it and sell it and all these things. And Brian has solved it, and he's so close to it that he talks about all of it, just breezing over these points where we're like, wait, you did what? Wait, we do what? We can do what? How? And so getting Brian to slow down and then getting the content to like bite-sized answers has been super duper helpful. And so, yeah, I'm glad that actually Brian just shared sort of this strategy that we've implemented that has now made it so we're so far ahead on content. I mean, I don't think we've posted all the clips from last week's AMA, and now we're getting ready to start clipping up another one. And the important thing to remember about this is now we've implemented this strategy for only about 30 days, right? We started the AMAs right before the new year. It only took us about 2 weeks to where we had a backstock of content that we could just schedule and post and make sure we had something new every day that we could add, and also new resources that extend on some of the stuff we already offer up. So, you know, again, when you start pulling on a thread of a question of how do I do this functionality in the system, there's starting to be more and more of these touch points that all can lead you to an answer in a format that you understand. You might want to read it. You might want to see the video. You might just need the clip. You might need to see the actions he took in the video without the talking or whatever. Everybody learns differently. So fantastic to just have a really solid strategy of, like, again, how you start hosting space for your customers and potential customers can turn into your total content strategy in a very organic and helpful way.
You know, so I named the video, as you see, just so I had an idea. Without even having to really read it, ChatGPT basically kind of got the right idea. What do I get for $4.99? You get 5,000 pieces of data every single minute for $4.99. It's broken down pretty nicely and it's pretty accurate. So now I'm just going to take the description. And the big thing, like, would you ever have written Lego in your description? Probably not. I wouldn't have, but it was brought up in conversation. So now I have information that has keywords about Lego, and it seems meaningless, but as you get more and more and more and more content, all these keywords and views and interest between all the people who watch the videos adds up and creates basically more organic traffic for you. So I'll say get 100 free leads at, and you can go off and do a thumbnail if you want. The thumbnails work pretty well, but I'm going to save a little bit of time. And I have this playlist for Ask Me Anything, and this Ask Me Anything playlist is, if you see right over here, let me just publish and get it done with. So this playlist directly ties into right here. So this help button now takes every user who ever lands on this website that people can dabble through to get the best results they're looking for.
And then like I mentioned, I mean, like, when you really look at this logically as a business owner, once I learned how to sell one intent category for $500 a month that I could make $1,000 or $2,000 or $3,000 a month on, then I learned how to sell two that I could get for $800. So that brings my cost down. Then I realized, oh, if I just do the $2,500 a month plan, I get 10. I can broaden my potential addressable market. My total addressable market becomes huge, but still focused in the niches that I have experience and credibility in, where I'm able to really go out and get a really robust sort of pitch and close rate in those spaces, because I have a lot of authority and can speak with intelligence in those spaces. And everybody in these rooms has something similar to that. And once you get to that point, man, it is game on, because you realize, like, now you're literally getting down to paying, $250 per category. And if you just sell one monthly subscription for $100 a month to each category, you are already winning. And from there, it's game on building your business out. So, yes, the other thing is, if you get your white label set up to the point where you get your payment stuff set up, let us know, Brian. We'll get your app launched. We're running this promo for a little while longer while we're working very closely with folks at Go High Level. So we want to get these Go High Level apps up there. And also, if you have, if you're in Go High Level in that ecosystem, go rate and review our apps, any of the apps that you find in there. It will be very helpful to us. And then again, when we get your stuff launched, we will return the favor and push the community to do the same. So let's keep supporting one another. Let's keep building and let's go ball out, man. I think there's a brilliant opportunity here for all of us. And I think that, the winners are going to show up and show out. Let's go get it. Brian, you got anything else? I think I'm done.
Yeah, if anyone wants to subscribe to sign up, you guys have my calendar and I can help you guys build your intent database. I'll drop the calendar free, a lot of availability tomorrow. Well, not a lot, but there's some availability tomorrow and on Friday, and I can help you get set up, and I'll give you an hour of my time after you pay to help you basically train you and onboard you one-on-one and everything. But I appreciate it, everybody. Doesn't look like there's any other questions, so I'm gonna
Let's keep building. If you found this helpful, share it with a friend, other people who should show up next week, see if they can learn out of this as well.
I have to interrupt you. Affiliate link. So we now have
Oh,
the
yes.
affiliate system fully working. Sorry, wow, we almost ended before that. That was like a total encore moment. All right, so we pay right now. I'm gonna say it's 20%, just because we need to make.
Thank you.
We'll say it's 20% right now, and it may go up in the future. But we pay you 20%, which would be $100 a month for every single subscriber you get, and all of your subscribers are tracked here, and any of them that pay, you'll be able to be notified. Once you basically earn some commission, we're going to need a W-9, just so, because now the IRS changed their rules. I think it's like $600 has to be reported. So this is awesome. You guys can make a lot of money. We don't really spend any money on advertising. Our whole philosophy is grassroots. Because really that's how you build an affordable, lean business that we're able to provide you guys at the lowest cost possible. So it's a group effort. And yeah, go right here, go to your account. You have a referral link that pays you 30%. And you can also track everything of your clients and what they do here. And we give you all their contact information. So you have the ability to close them and speak with them and, make sure that.
So one way or another, we're going to help you make money. Let's go.
Exactly. And I'll start getting a playlist together of training, best ways to sell it. So I'll get that ready for next week and I'll post it in here. So, all right, guys, appreciate it.
Fantastic. Thanks, everybody. I'm ending the recording. Peace, everybody. Tell a friend, bring a friend next week. Let's keep growing this.